Hey, everybody. How are you doing? Well, it's Monday and it's noon. Actually, here where I live, they have a funny thing with time travel. Won't leave it alone. So, I'm either an hour early or an hour late. But how y'all doing? So let's see. Which tone shall we use today to bring everybody in? Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Man. Yeah, I could dig that. You can go along the light fantastic on that one. Hit a light filament into the tone and then see where the tone activates the code within the light filament. Anyway, how are ya? It's a fabulous day. The energy is off the charts and planet Earth is going through some changes. Yeah. So Mondays, we want to do the favor invocation because, well, listen, you speak it and it will be your reality. Even if your reality is so far to the one side, and we're going to get into that today, this will bring balance. All right. So just invoking favor on everybody, nothing missing, nothing broken. All right. We're going to read this as a group, third person. All these favors will come upon us and overtake us if we give voice to them each day. Favor will be with us in the city. Favor will be with us in the country. Favor will heal our body when we speak favor into our bodies. Favor will set apart our children, our animals, our ground as favored, and abundance of joy. Favor will be on our food, our water, our pantry. Favor will walk with us when we come in, and favor will walk with us when we go out. Favor will cause our enemies to be at peace with us. Favor will be upon our barns and storehouses where we keep our valuables to prosper and be in safety. Favor will be upon us in everything we undertake. Everything we set our hands to, favor will cause it to prosper. Favor shall be upon all of our material property and shall cause it to last longer and not break. Favor shall protect us, our offspring, our possessions from calamity. Favor will lead us to good fortune in all things. Favor will cause us to be the head, not the tail. Favor will cause us to come out on top and not beneath, and it will always cause us to be above and not below. Favor will cause us to have favor with the elements. Favor will cause us to have favor with the spiritual realms. Favor will cause us to be favorable to everyone we meet. They will see us with favor. Favor will seek us out. And as we say, it will be created in my words, and what was said has been done. This is ancient knowledge, folks. I mean, the shaman, who were the original priest, the connectors to the other realm. But before the shaman, there was a time when Earth was not bound like it is. It's not under the tyranny that it is. And unfortunately, it looks like those gods, whoever created that crap, is coming back. I don't know about you, Jack, but I don't dig that at all. Anyway, we used to communicate directly. The higher intelligences found the fields of Earth with Earthman. It's something I don't see talked about a lot. We see, according to the evolutionary charts, ape man, we see mankind, but we don't talk about Earthman. And Earthman at one time was a very developed, very advanced species. They were creators in their own right. And that was the uniqueness about the Earthman, is their habitat. That was a time long, long ago. And so anyway, I digress. So how is everybody? So good to see you. Happy birthday to those there. Hey, there's Brian. I'm going to be on Brian's show. Don't know if it's going to be this Friday or next Friday. Still working out Brian, I'm going to send you something that Lynn had to say to you. Hello, Kaz. How are you, my dear? And there's Cajun Queen Tarot. Lois will be on Friday. We're going to raise some money for her, folks, and put some food on the pantry there. Hello, Lori. Good to see y'all. Boy, there's a lot of people here. What's up with that? Hey, David, how are you doing? I know Big Al is studying for his CDL, so I think he says it. Hey, Joyce, how are you doing? Twisted Isby, hello. Truth Seeker, good to see you, Madea. Chris, NP, Jules, think agape love always and forever. Love it. Raindrops. Now that's clever. I haven't seen you before, but I love that. That's very cool. That is a person who is truly awakening, folks. And if you see your creativity increasing and you're finding a desire to be more creative, more expressive, there's a reason for that. Tomorrow, Trina will be on. So looking forward to that. Always fun with Miss Trina. So let me ask you something. Let's have a sip of our tea. I'm going to show you something that happened where I live on Friday, which was weird. You know, the title of our thing is, how many free spirits are there? There are free spirits. I'm one. My whole life has been that. And so many of you as well have shown traits of a free spirit. And quite frankly, it seems like the very older souls, and remember, old is this really a relative term. Where we come from, time is not relevant. We come into time so we can experience the experience. But yeah, but in any case, our planet is changing, folks. I think that's why many of us are here. The book I'm reading, I finished one and picked up another, and wow, our planet is rapidly changing. It's everywhere. My memory goes back about 22,000 days. And as a child, I can tell you, because I grew up on a portion of my childhood was on a working farm. And you got to know the seasons. You knew the seasons. And it was down in Texas. It was damn hot, but it was also cold. I remember that distinctly. Anyway, I don't ever remember seeing what we're seeing today, and particularly what I am experiencing myself. So check this out, folks. This was Friday dusk. Yep, that's right. That's pink. Now, I want to make some observations about this. If you look off to the top left, that's west. In fact, for me, that's almost kind of southwest to west. But we had a typical, what all I can say was a normal sunset. Sun was out, and the snow was white and etc. And then something happened. There was a cloud formation that came up, but the odd thing was where the cloud was at, it should have not reflected what it did. And all the neighbors were out. There's another picture. It got very intense at one point. And remember, we're talking literally seconds as this is going by, because, if you ever watch the sunset, it sets pretty quick. It really does. And check that out. And it went back to normal. Is that not weird? And then we had Wednesday, I think it was 0 degrees here. Yesterday, we had the ladybugs out. Yes, I don't know. You tell me what's going on. I'm not rightly sure. Oh, I know what I wanted to show you. Let me get out of here. Anyway, we'll move on. We got a lot of material to cover. Anyway, weird stuff happening, folks. Weird, weird, weird. I don't know. I guess pink and purple is the new in. Purple particularly. Purple is starting to show up everywhere, and there's a reason for it. Many of us know, which is going to get us right into what our subject matter is. So I wrote this, so you'll just bear with me as I read this out. For most of us, I say the vast majority of us, none of us can remember our previous lives. And let me tell you, I was a solid individual that did not believe in reincarnation. I was so heavily indoctrinated in my theology that, I was in that camp that, man, when you were born, you were brand new, spanking new, and you only had one opportunity, this one life. You left, and that was it. Of course, the ridiculousness of that it's so immature. I mean, I could add a number of words that it lacks credibility. There's no foundation for it. But the fact is, how could anyone know anything in the short period of time that we're here? We can't even remember where we came from. And that goes right back to the point that we've all had previous lives. And by the way, I'm just going to read this. Not all on this planet called Earth, and the greatest percentages of us will not, hear me out, will not be coming back. No. Particularly people in these type of communities, free thinking communities. But we're going to be moving on to a new dimension by what is taking place right now. So what is taking place right now? Well, this weekend, all of us were heavily impacted. We almost made it to the red line in the cosmic ray storm. We went through a period, the Earth has been has been pelted by cosmic rays for the last 2 days. We have been in a 56-hour average minus 1.25 kp index. Not good, folks. Not good. Alzheimer's, dementia, cardiac, nervous, immune. All of these are being impacted by cosmic rays, and they're hitting us hard, folks. And this weekend, we got close to red, something we haven't ever seen. That's how close it got. I have no doubt it will, in fact, before possibly the year out, we will. And I think next year we will see storms coming in that will be redline. And we know that if you get hit by a cosmic ray particle, it's going to damage your DNA. Now, that's one thought. Keep that thought for a second. Oddly enough, this was predicted by, the Palladians in 1992. And they spoke of the effects this was going to have on Earthlings, and I like their terminology, Earthlings, and the planet itself. You and I are living it, and many of you, like myself, have been noticing the changes that for many of us began nearly 20 years ago. The others, you are feeling the acceleration in your body. This is part of this. And we're going to do a book review of the one I'm reading because it needs to be read. The fact that this was written in 1992, published in 1995, so much of what was being written, channeled, is coming to pass. Now, in 1992, we knew about cosmic rays. We just didn't know that much about them. They weren't here. Our sun was still in a strong cycle. It is not now. It's very weak. And the weaker it gets, folks, more of these episodes are going to happen. So now the Palladians say, depending if you believe that or not, your choice, I don't care. Right here, we're all free thinkers. We don't judge anyone. We don't get into dogmas, ideologies, religion, or other type of things. We allow every person to believe as they wish. We are in a free will zone, folks. This book puts a very interesting spin on good and evil. The fact that it doesn't matter. It's a free will zone. And as tragic as that may sound to you, and as hard as that may be to accept, there are virtually no consequences. No. Now, that seems like a rather bold and audacious statement to make, but think about it. You look at this planet, and no matter how many millennia you want to go back, it's soaked with blood, our blood, and the blood of the animals of this planet. This earth is soaked in blood. Now, if there was a quote unquote judgment or a, how shall we say, effect, it's not with the higher intelligences. I think it's hard for us to imagine. Now, I've said this, all of my shows virtually are all been channeled. Just to let you know that. And in one of those episodes that I did, and there's a bunch of them out there, but I tried to say to you that, listen, forget God, and remember, which God? Now, there's a lot of small g gods. The Jews have one, the Muslims have one, the Christians one. They've all got their gods, little g. They like to put the big G on there, but yeah. Anyway, fact is that they've never manifested before humanity. So you start putting this into place, then where does that put us? I mean, if this is a free will zone, which Earth they say is, it's kind of like that movie, The Purge. It's like, wow, no, Wayne, I can't accept that. There has to be a good and a bad. And if you're bad, you're going to have be punished. And if you're good, you get to be rewarded. I wish that was the case. Now, we can project that into our reality, in which it is. That kind of mentality is here. But, folks, there's no evidence of any type, good or bad, which brings me right into our next point. Oh, I just love it when things just come together so good. Remember the 7 principles? The Kabbalion? Let's review this because it fits in perfectly where channeling is concerned. We're going to pick up in our reading where we left off. All right. Number 1, the principle of mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, gender. Those are the 7 principles that are there. Now, the principles of truth are 7. He who knows these understandingly possesses the magic key before whose touch all the doors of the temple fly open. And I have sent hundreds of these out. There's a lot of you who have them. Go back and read it again. Restudy, refresh it to your memory. The principle of mentalism, the all is mind, the universe is mental. This principle embodies the truth that all is mind. It's all mental. That's what consciousness is. That explains that the all, which is the substantial reality underlining all the outward manifestations and appearances which we know under the term of the material universe, the phenomena of life, matter, energy, and in short, all that is apparent to our material sense is spirit, which in itself is unknowable, undefinable, but which may be considered and thought of as a universal, infinite, living mind. Now, you can add the word prime creator there. The fact is, we've discussed this, and we'll continue to discuss this, is the fact that if there is a central core that permeates everything, which we can call, it's not God. God is such a limited term. The infinite being, the prime creator. There's no way that there can be a perfect God, even a perfect prime creator, perfect infinite being. Because once perfection is achieved, what else is there? There's nothing. I love the way that in this book that I read, how they put it, that God, as most earthlings perceived in whatever their religion is holy, infallible, can't lie, can't do any wrong. Well, if you follow that out logically, then where did all the shit come from? No. If we start looking at a prime creator, infinite being, the one, whatever you want to call it, that it is living through its creations, that it's continually to create, and we feed it. All of us do. The universe, the dimensions, they feed it. It lives through the experience of that which it has created. Think about it. The principle of correspondence, as above, so below, as below, so above. We know that this principle embodies the truth that there is always a correspondence between the laws and phenomenon of the various planes of being and life. The old Hermetic axiom ran in these words, as above, so below, as below, so above. And actually it goes on to say, as within, as without, as without, as within. And the grasping of this principle gives one the means of solving many dark paradoxes, the hidden secret of nature. There are planes beyond our knowing, but when we apply the principle of correspondence to them, we are able to understand much that would otherwise be unknowable to us. This principle is of universal application and manifestation on the various planes of the material, mental, and spiritual universe. It is a universal law. The principle of vibration. Nothing rests. If you are at rest, what are you going to, that's death. And that is what we perceive to be death is an illusion. It's just merely a transfer. This principle embodies the truth that everything is in motion, everything vibrates, nothing is at rest. Facts which modern science endorses and which each new scientific discovery tends to verify. Everything vibrates. We've learned that. We're learning it now. It's why most creatures will never get close to what they call the infinite being, prime creator. We don't vibrate that high. You should read this. It gets into the principles, the differences between different manifestations of matter, energy, mind, even spirit, result largely from varying rates of vibration. When you get hit with bad news, bam! What do? Are you one that allows your body to immediately go into a state of shock of, many times it's fear, maybe many times it's overwhelming anticipation. Yeah. Heart rate begins to increase, pulse, etc. When you can begin to manifest and bring that vibration up, because it feels like it's like you're all excited and what have you, that's actually not, it's an illusion. You're actually vibrating at very low. So the principle of polarity, everything is dual, everything has poles, everything has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. Good and evil's the same. Yeah. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. Extremes meet, all truths are but half truths, all paradoxes may be reconciled. The principle embodies the truth that everything is dual. Everything has two poles. Everything has a pair of opposites, all of which were old Hermetic axioms. A lot of truth in these if you begin to apply it, particularly in channeling. The principle of rhythm. Every one of us, earthlings on this planet, are the result of vibration and rhythm. It's what happens when orgasms are achieved by humans. It sets in it's a completely different tone, different frequency, different vibration, life-giving. It can be, in fact, is duplicated in the genetic labs, but it's much funner if you do it the natural way. Everything flows. Ain't that so? Flow out and in and out. Baby. And when you get to that thing, you start talking to your God. Oh, God, oh, God, oh, God. Yeah, there we go. Everything has its tides. All things rise and all things fall. The pendulum swings, manifest in everything. The measure of swing to the right is measured of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates. It's true. Has to do with you, me, Earth, the sun, planets, the galaxy, the universe itself. The principle of cause and effect. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. Now, it sounds contradictory when I said that we're in a free zone, but many times we transmute that we think that something that happens in the physical has a direct correlating respect into a different plane. That's not always true. No. In fact, the reason why most of us can't remember our past lives, most of us have done probably some very horrendous things. Yeah, we don't like to think that. We all like to think, oh, no, man, I've always been enlightened, brother. I've always been. And then the last one is gender. Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine properties, principles as well. Gender manifests on all planes. Now, we get this thing into sex. This does not mean sex. All of us are the masculine. All of us are the feminine. So there we go. I'll get out of here. If you want this, man, I'll send it to you. It's really great to read, and I highly encourage it. I do. So how'd you like the preamble to that one, huh? Groovy, baby. As they used to say, sock it to me. And we're ready to go with that. So let's rock. So we left off heading into chapter 2 of our reading of opening to channeling. Now we're at this point where we start going into channeling states of consciousness. I practiced this weekend. Oh, folks, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I'm seeing hallways that I've never seen before. I'm seeing portals within these hallways that I've never seen before. And it's amazing when you begin to deliberately focus in on remembering. We're going to get more and more into this. I have some great books coming already here. They're not there yet. We're going to practice techniques. I've given this a lot of meditative thought as well. I told you I'm looking for a core group. Please email me again. Like to keep this into where we can all manage this. I don't know, that's 10, 15, 20. If we get 20 people in this group that wants to do it, that's fantastic. There's already been a number of you that have written lists. We're going to do this. The multiplying effect. It's been stated before in many proverbs, one can put 1,000, two can put 10,000, three can put 100,000 to flight. That's the multiplication. So states of consciousness. What is a channeling state and how can I achieve it? Our two guides here, Orrin and Deben, they're talking. And they say a channeling state is a state of consciousness that allows you to connect with a guide. There are many ways to describe the experience of channeling state. Usually, describing it makes it seem more complicated than it actually is. You would have a similar problem describing the state of mind that is required to drive a car. Now, how would you do that, folks? Think about on that one. Or play a musical instrument, or engage in an active sport. We take it so much for granted because this is the realm that we live in. Our manifestations, everything that we see around us, is by something or someone's manifestation. We're set on a stage, but yes, you can get carried up very quickly in another person's manifestation. Once you have experienced the channeling state, it is easy to remember and return to. Most people find that achieving a channeling state is easier, more subtle, and different than they thought it would be. The time when inspiration flows effortless are similar to the channeling state. Most of you have had brief experiences of channeling-like space, such as talking to a friend in need, feeling wisdom flowing through you, and saying things that you had not originally intended to say. The moments when you feel deep love for a friend, awe as you look at a beautiful sunset, appreciation for the beauty of a flower, or the reverence of a deep prayer, all contain elements of this state of consciousness. For myself, I used to pray hours in the spirit, literally hours. And you go through a lot of different states of consciousness because it's an intense, many of you know what I'm speaking of, but also many of you who are proficient at meditating, being able to put yourself into the astral realm, put yourself into different places, remote viewing. We'll get into that as well. When a very clear internal voice tells you things that seem to come from a higher level than your normal thoughts, when you are teaching others and suddenly feel inspired, when you feel an impulse to say unexpected and wise things or touch in unusual and healing ways, you may be experiencing elements of how a channeling state feels. Folks, there was something that happened to me this weekend that I saw in a vision. And yeah, and it's how are the synchronicities going in your life? Channeling state feels as if you have suddenly become very wise. The channeling state creates subtle changes in your perception of reality. Answer to questions may come easily, and they may seem simple or obvious. At first, it may even seem as if you are imagining or making up the words and thoughts. You might feel as if you were concentrating. You do not want to push your mind away. Actively use it to help you reach a higher state. Listen, my wife and I was talking to her, I think it was last Wednesday, about a movie. And I'll tell you which one it was, the Twilight Zone movie. And I was telling her about the story of Anthony that was originally played by Billy Mumy. And, my wife was going like, I don't think I remember that. And I said to her, I said, honey, and I stopped and I just got immediately and I said, that movie will come on. Guess what happened on Saturday morning? What's even weirder about this is that, I don't know, she was scanning through and I saw it on the guide and I said, there it is. She went there, put it on the channel. Guess what segment was just starting? You guessed it, the segment with Anthony. Folks, that's just freaking uncanny. And it's getting more intense. All of you are experiencing this. Yeah. Channeling usually causes a change in your breathing and may initially be accompanied by unusual sensitivity in your upper body. You may feel heat in your hands or an increase in body temperature. A channeling state is an individual experience. For some, there is an absence of physical sensation. After you have channeled for a while, you become accustomed to the accompanying physical sensations, and usually ones rarely occur. Some people complain that they miss the unusual sensations once they stop. Well, you got to grow up. Occasionally, as you reach new levels, there may be a tingling in your neck or at the top of your forehead. And this is where I typically get it. It's just always, it's like, yeah. Some people feel sensations along the spine or the band of tightness or energy around their foreheads. While channeling, the rhythm and tone of your voice may be different from normal, perhaps becoming much slower and deeper. However, there may be no changes in your voice at all, and you may experience no physical sensations. So do not look for physical changes or symptoms as an indication of your guide's presence. So, and I can tell you, they're there. I was up at 3 o'clock, my body is still used to, the time. And it's amazing how quickly you can begin to plug in. It's like, yeah. Now our couple here, they talk and they say you can relate various states of consciousness to levels of relaxation or alertness. You are in a number of different states of consciousness every day. Waking and sleeping are familiar and easily recognizable as a different state. I mean, think about it. How do you prepare yourself to enter into the state of unconsciousness? It's a remarkable ability, folks, that you and I possess, and we don't give ourselves enough credit. We take it for granted. But yet, it's the most remarkable transmutation process. Yeah. Different kinds of activities involve distinctive states of consciousness. Your state of awareness is different when you watch a movie, work on a difficult task, drive on the freeway, or participate in a fast-moving sport. You can identify these states as different because of variations in alertness, degree of involvement with an environment, levels of relaxation or attention, physical sensations, emotions, and the way you think as you engage in these activities. You know, the thing that where I came out of the, Pentecostal, evangelical movement is that is what most people come to church for, is it's almost a sexual thing. They come in there because, they get into the praise and worship, and, you're really into a state, a trance state. I want to be very honest, but it is literally a state of channeling. And when the doors to the sanctuary are open, people are already channeling. If my particular denomination believed in the speaking in tongues, you would see people speaking in tongues. You would see other people off in corners doing prayer walks, prayer circles, all channeling. And that's how the music starts. And you get into a state of channeling because you're going to be connecting to something. Now, most of them, they say that that's God, but, we've talked about that. Think about this, folks. It's everywhere. Case in point, grocery store, standing in a checkout line. You will see most people either now channeling on their electronic device. You will see people in a state of daydream, all channeling. As you become more aware of this and you go out into the public, you're going to see it. Yeah. In their normal waking consciousness, people are very aware of the environment and may have a lot of internal mind chatter. At this end of the relaxation scale are activities such as thinking, planning, or worrying. Many of you have got to get a grip on worrying. My lady, it's manifesting. And some of you and guys, y'all are freaking pros, man. And you manifest so quickly. Imagine if you could turn this around. As you relax while listening to music, watching TV or a movie, taking a bath, or walking in nature, you may find that your awareness of the environment ranges from semi-alertness to a dreamy state where you are unaware of your surroundings. As you obtain deeper states of relaxation, you become less and less aware of your surroundings until you fall asleep. How many of you have ever done that? I remember as a kid, and even as a young adult, I used to love to go out into fields, particularly fields that have like alfalfa and what have you, that's very comfortable to lay down on. And nothing better than like in early spring, just to feel the sun and, it's not hot, and you'll fall into a meditative state. You'll fall asleep. It's true. You're channeling. Channeling involves the achievement of a slightly relaxed state where you can turn your attention inward and upward to receive messages from higher realms. In a light state of relaxation, you are usually aware of sound. Sometimes sounds may even seem amplified. At a deeper level of relaxation or during intense concentration, you may feel so absorbed in what you are doing that you become completely unaware of the environment. You may become so deeply engrossed that if someone came into the room unexpectedly, you would jump. Why do you jump? Boom, you broke the connection. Yeah. Still, it is possible to recall information and be aware of sounds in light or deep states of relaxation. So it is better not to judge if you are in a channeling state by how alert or aware you feel. At first, when you enter into a channeling state, you may actually become more aware of the environment you're in, particularly when you receive a guide, because you are making a conscious connection and activating your voice. Soon, however, the environment will seem less significant, and you can learn not to let outside noises distract you. You might say to yourself, any noise I hear will assist me in deepening my channeling state. Some experience with meditative states is useful, but is not required to channel. The meditative state and the channeling space are both reached from a relaxed state of internal focus. However, the ways in which the mind and intentions are used differ. In deep meditation, there is little need to recall and speak, so it is primarily an experience of picture, energy, and feeling. There was something that just passed out of my, and I'm sitting in my office. There's nobody else in the, that was strange, folks. I mean, yeah, I felt that energy. Thank you. Thank you. Speak favor to you wherever you're going. All right. That was weird. Some experience with meditative states is used. Okay. We've already read that. That was weird, folks. That literally, I saw it. I mean, I saw it out of the corner of my eye. Very beautiful, by the way. Opalescent, kind of white and flowing. Anyway, most people who meditate have already begun to access the channeling space. Unless they request a guide, they pass right through the channeling space on their way down to deeper meditative states. And coming up out of these states, they often get their conscious insights during this time, because channeling is a lighter state that usually includes more awareness of the outer environment than deep meditation. It is often easier to achieve than people experience at meditation might expect. It's like, well, this is just too easy. It's like, can't be that easy. Yeah. In channeling, you learn to direct your mind to a place, somewhat like finding a doorway, where you link with your guide. While it may take a long time, 15 minutes or more, to achieve a state of deep meditation and inner stillness, it usually takes a short time, usually less than 5 minutes, to achieve a channeling state. Some people can enter this state in moments, and others wait however long until it feels the presence of their guide. Sometimes the guide is right there when people go to channel, and other times, even with the same guide, it can take a while before the guide appears and the channeling connection is made. By the way, I can tell you, they all have personality. Just letting you know that. When you reach up into the channeling space, your guide joins you and helps direct your energies. Channeling does not require a calm, still mind like meditative states, but instead requires the ability to concentrate and focus. It does require you to be willing to have a calm, clear mind once you start channeling. Getting into a channeling state is not just up to you. You will receive a lot of assistance from your guide in achieving this state because you have asked for the connection and guidance. Where you go when your guide comes in, choosing the realms. Now we have their guide speaking. Some people set aside their waking consciousness entirely when they channel. They say channeling is like falling asleep and remember nothing of what they said during channeling. Those whose consciousness aware disappears during channeling are called unconscious channels by some people. That's odd, isn't it? By that definition, There's a lot of us could probably fall into that classification. These unconscious channels usually enter into such deeps of states of relaxation that they have no recall of their guide's message. Well, that seems like a waste. Yeah, at least that's my opinion. They are usually receiving the energy of the transmission, if not the actual words of advice at a soul level, but are unable to recall what their guides have said. Your real recall will vary depending on the nature of your channeling state. Interesting. Some channels remain partially conscious, and because they can remember some of the transmission, people call them conscious channels. These people are aware of varying degrees of the information as it comes through. Some may have a vague sense of their guide's message, but little memory of what specifically transpired. Do you always remember all your dreams? No. Some compare it to remembering dreams, since their memories of the information they channeled fades very rapidly afterwards. And it does. It just, unless you're profound in, retaining dreams. They might remember the information just as they come out of a channeling state, but are unable to remember it an hour later. Some channels remember what their guide said and feel very alert during channeling. The experiences of most people fall somewhere between a deep, unconscious trance channeling state and a fully alert state. We suggest that you remain conscious while you channel. If you find yourself falling asleep or losing awareness, use your will to stay alert. That's where Franz comes in, keeping that single thought. Wrestle that baby. It will help if you feel well rested. Don't go in tired. You know what happens. There is nothing wrong with being unconscious while you channel. But if you are conscious, you are able to bring the higher wisdom and light of your guide directly into your own awareness and consciously use the information to learn and grow. We encourage you to be aware of some degree of what you are saying while you are channeling. Now, you talk, you speak what you, it's kind of like having a conversation. Ask a question, and when you're plugged in, get ready. Conscious channels are partially aware of what is being said by their guides. Those who remember what transpires during their channeling generally feel a great richness that surpasses the actual meaning of the words. They feel as if they are in an expanded state of consciousness where every word has greater meaning than they have previously been aware of. Sometimes the words are accompanied by feelings of traveling. Sometimes they have feelings of eternal shifts at a higher vibration. One of the things that I have been experiencing is going back in time, reliving what I call vignettes. It's very profound. Who knows? Some say that channeling is like being in a vivid dream, full of action, emotion, and often color. After they finish channeling, this richness begins to fade. Some say that they feel a part of other realms. They feel themselves expanded physically, feeling larger than normal. Some say they receive their guide's message as pictures that seem like some richer and more complete language, like that they then translate into words. Some feel as if their guides drop whole packets of information into their minds, containing a complete set of ideas that they slowly unravel as they speak the message. Some people see the words or feel as if they are dropped into their minds, right as if they are ready to say them one by one. Others feel that they are watching something on a screen or experiencing the message in some way. And through their channeling, they are reporting what is happening. Many people do not have these experiences, but feel as if they are using their mind to bring through guidance. It is often only in looking back, that they understand the higher wisdom and guidance that was contained in the message they received. Those who have become skilled at taking their waking consciousness into deep levels of channeling report that, contrary to being knocked out or unaware, or so much happens that it is as if they are directly experiencing the worlds of their guides. It may seem like being conscious during a dream. They may experience the higher realms of their guides as experiences, pictures, and impressions that are far beyond the capacity of language to express. Those who are fully conscious are aware to varying degrees of the richness of energy beyond words as they experience their guide's world and their own simultaneously. However, many people do not report experiencing their guide's world while they channel. They are as many ways to experience the connection to the guides as there are people. So honor your own unique experience. As you continue, you will discover the ways your guide connects to you. So we'll pick up this most likely on Wednesday. We'll be talking with Trina tomorrow. This is fabulous stuff, folks. I mean, it's life-changing. Our planet is going through changes. And, you know, all I know is this. I can only go back on the experience of my life. I was doing this in Christianity. I was profound at it. I spoke words. They called it prophetic utterance. I could interpret tongues. I could see visions. Many of you didn't have that religious background. That's great. Many of you are empaths, psychics. This is where it gets to be enhanced. You're already in the realm. And I dare say, as we continue through this lesson, we're going to find out that so many of us are pros at this. I mean, I'm just reading this. Y'all are pretty smart. Of course you are. I'm just reading some of the comments. They're fabulous. Y'all are just the best. I tell you, I feed off your energy. I can feel it when you're watching. Thank you, David. Thank you for this. It's like my life story. Isn't it so true, my brother? So true. Yeah. We're changing, ladies and gentlemen, and for the better. I don't know about you, but I used to have passions for certain sports. They're not there anymore. My interests are changing, and it's quite interesting. And I think some of you all are experiencing the same thing. It's like, well, okay, now what do we do? We're going to get better at this, is what we're going to do. I got a sense that is big of a change that the earth we're already experiencing. We're in it. It ain't coming. It ain't about to happen. It's already here. We just entered in the very early stages of this. We're going to have tremendous opportunity for fear. But I'm telling you, folks, I believe that this group will shine. They're going to be different. You're going to be beacons of light for those around you. They're going to know there's something different about you, and they're going to want it. Thank you, Twisted Zidby. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you, Stellar Core. Appreciate it. Folks, we're going to get into this. It's going to get exciting. Wednesday, we're going to do, let me see, just to show you, I got the training cards. I didn't get the big ones until we get better at it. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, I did get, doesn't that sound really good in the mic? It's like, man, it's like eating bubble wrap, isn't it? But we've got cards. So we're going to practice, and I'm practicing. I suck at this when I find that I'm tired. You know, when you've got way too much on your mind, don't do it. No. I will share this. My wife and I were doing it. So as a team, because you can do it as a team, you know, those of you who are married and in deep relationships, you know what it is. You start joining psychically. We hit 80%. So go figure that. All right, folks. Much joy to you all. You know, it's a journey. And if we're already on it, so we might as well make it fun and have fun doing it. I don't like this, all the downness, you know, it's like, oh, this and that, you know, no, we're going to fly. We're going to fly like an eagle. Yes. All right. So, hello, Julianne, going to get you on, dear. All right. Much love to you all. I'll see you tomorrow with Miss Trina, and enjoy the rest of the day. All right. Bye-bye.